Hello friends, good morning to all of you. So that's about the bank audit and inspection. Now audit is actually related to what? That you are going to examine, right? And that examination is not a general examination. It's a scientific examination that you are to look logically into each and everything, that is it working all fine or as intended, right? Let's say if we were adding two numbers. Let me just give an example. Let's say there is a model which is adding two numbers, A plus B, and you're feeding two numbers. Let's say you fed 13 and 14. The sum should be 27, right? The same way when we are basically adding other two numbers, let's say those were 50 and 20, and the output came out to be 69 instead of 70, then we'll be saying this model is not working fine. Now there should be some person who will be inspecting into these particular things, who will be looking into these particular things, that if it is working all fine or not. And that is the work related to the audit department, that systematic going to check and inspect each and everything, that if it is working all fine or not, right? So it's the duty of the audit department, right? So that's the first point related to it. Is that clear? So that's the first point related to, that they are to look into the things over there, right? And the other one, it's related to that they are to scientifically examination to be done, that logically they should be looking into the things. Now keep it from the bank point of view, that we are to look into the books of account and the records of the business entity. We are to look into the profit and loss account. We are to investigate the balance sheet properly, that is it showcasing a true and fair picture of the financial state of the businesses or not under the particular accounting period. Isn't it the case that they have not basically, let's say, met up with the proper accounting standards, or they are not following the particular accounting standards? So we are to check for all the things, and also we are to check the regulatory provisions. Are those being fulfilled? Are those being adhered to or not? Are we complying with those or not? So there are two types of the inspections. One, it is the internal audit, and the second one, it is a statutory audit, right? So audit is a process, nothing but it's related to, you are going to review the statements, the procedures, the processes which are being adopted by the banks, and which are available under the various legislations. Let's say different rules and bylaws are there, and you have to follow those bylaws and procedures, right? These guidelines may be given by SEBI or by the Reserve Bank of India or PFRDO or any other institution, or let's say by the government of India, right? So those are to be followed in letter and spirit, right? So that is a duty, that the compliance is being done or not. That's a duty related to the audit department, right? And it's a routine procedure. It's not like that it is something else. Let's say if something is not fulfilled, it will be notified in the auditing, right? And further it is to be complied with. That is the only thing that is to be done. And it is of two types. It's of the internal audit and the statutory audit. It is of two types, internal audit and the statutory audit. So when we are talking about the internal audit, it is undertaken by the bank's own staff. Let's say a person is appointed who is a inspector or who is the auditor, then the person is going to audit the things. Let's say he basically came to the branch office and further looked into the different patterns or parameters, and further verified that if it is working, if it is being followed or not. That's the internal audit. That's the internal audit. So it's being conducted by the bank's own staff, or sometimes also done by the chartered accountants which are related to the bank. Okay. And the main point is related to what, that we want to ensure the accuracy and correctness, that we are complying with the different rules, different bylaws, different compliances which are being directed by the Reserve Bank of India or all, right? That's the main point. Further, it's related to RBIA. Very important, very important. So if you are in bank and you have followed a inspection, then you should be knowing what is RBIA. RBIA is risk based internal audit, right? Now we are going to test the transactions, we are going to test the accuracy, we are to check that whether we can be relying on the accounting records or not, or financial reports or not. Are those readily available? Can we be relying on those particular reports or not? Are we adhering to the different requirements, whether those are legal requirements or the regulatory requirements, whether we are following those requirements or not? So that is the main point related to RBI comes into. So the scope of the internal audit is basically widened up. It's now widened up, that we were to evaluate the adequacy and effectiveness of the risk management procedures also, right? And now RBI says itself, now the RBI says itself that the bank should be having a well-defined internal audit policy. Well-defined internal audit policy must be there, which should be functionally independent, right? And it should be having independent staff, or proper staffing should be there, and competent persons should be there, and professional persons should be there, which can be completing the processes of the internal audit. And all these things altogether said to be what these are covered under the risk based internal audit, right? So that is the RBIA. That is a RBIA. So main thing is related to what, that we are to focus upon, we are to test the things, we are to give our feedback upon the things, that whether the things are being followed properly or not, right? So a structured internal audit approach, which is going to allocate the audit resources based upon the risk profile, right? Let's say the risk profile of the product, risk profile of the customers, risk profile of the systems, and primary focus is on what? Primary focus is related to that are we following those guidelines uniformly, right? And periodically review is to be given. That is basically RBIA. That is RBIA, and it is mandatorily encouraged by the Reserve Bank of India. And the guidelines were given under the ICAAP. The guidelines were given under the ICAAP, Basel 3, Pillar 2. That is a supervisory review process. Under that particular thing, the guidelines were given related to the RBIA. So main objective of RBIA is related to what? It is related to risk management. Main objective is risk management. ICs means internal control, and governance of the processes. So these three are the main objectives of it. Main objectives of it, right? Clear with it? Now let's move ahead. It's related to the international internal audit standards. Now, whenever we are working toward that, we are working globally, we are not only working regionally now. So we should be following such standards which are even being followed on international levels. So as to basically bring uniformity among all the banks, right? And risk-based internal audit, it's very much required that we should be following the international internal audit standards, and those are given by the BCBS, that is Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, under the and IIA, right? So those are given by BCBS, that is Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, and IIA, that is Institute of Internal Auditors. Those standards are given by those. And also there are some instructions given by the Reserve Bank of India. So first of all, it's about the authority and the independence. So whenever one is going to check something, they should be having the authority. So internal audit, or we simply say it to be IA function, right? That is internal audit department, IAD. So that must be having sufficient authority that they can be looking into the things, they can be checking the files, they should be having the access to the records, right, which are necessary so as to carrying out their responsibility. And also those should be working independently, otherwise they will always be under the pressure. That will be the scenario. So that is to be avoided. So there should be authority and independence. First case, authority and independence. Second, it's related to competent professional staff should be there, who should be having the proper knowledge, who should be having the experience for the things, right? Who can be looking into the things, right? That's competence. And the third one, the staff should not be fixed. There should be proper staff rotation. There should be proper staff rotation. And if it is feasible, it should be required that they should be having a particular, let's say if the persons are having the adequate skills, right, then they should be like able that the staff should be rotated. Multiple staffs should be there, staff members must be there, and the staff duties must be rotated, right? And also it's about the tenure for appointment of the HIE, tenure for the appointment of HIE, that is head of internal audit, and that minimum tenure is set to be 3 years. And there should be a clear-cut reporting line, that whom to report. So the HIA, head of internal audit, shall directly be reporting to the auditing committee of the board, ACB we say to be, or to the managing director or the CEO or the whole time director, right? And the foreign banks which are operating here in India, which are having the branches here in India, the HIA shall be reporting to the internal audit function at the head office level, right? And they should be paid a good remuneration so that they are not compromising their duty. So good remuneration should be there, and remuneration policy should be structured in such a manner that they should not be conflicting their interest or compromising the audit's independence, right? And this function should not be outsourced. It is very much clearly directed by the Reserve Bank of India that it should not be outsourced, right? You can be having experts with you, like your former employees could be hired on a contractual basis, but it should not be outsourced. It should be in-house only, and there should be proper documentation related at how the audit was being conducted, what was feedback, what was the rules being not followed or not complied with, and how the correctness was made, right? All those things should be documented properly, right? Then it's related to the information system audit, that is IS, information system audit. Now definitely we are using the technology, we are using the tech, we are using the systems, we are using the let's say PCs, network, routers and everything, right? Now definitely when we are dealing with a digital structure, we should also be auditing that structure, that if there is any loophole present which could basically be leading toward the losing the integrity of the data, right? So we need to safeguard our assets, whether it is hardware, whether it is software, or we are talking about the data. We are to basically protect HSD. We are to protect HSD. HSD means hardware, software, data. The integrity of all these three is to be maintained, that these are not compromised, right? So the integrity is to be maintained, right? So RBI has given a clear idea related to it. RBI has given a clear rule related to direction related to it under the information system audit, a review of policies and practices, that the banks are advised that they should be having a system audit periodically so as to check the effectiveness of the hardware and the software, and further the operations are working and the integrity of the data is being maintained or not. So all the things are in place already, and the directions have been given by the Reserve Bank of India. So what is the scope of internal audit, information system audit? That we are to check the effectiveness of the IT activities. First one, we are to evaluate the adequacy of the operational processes and internal controls. We are to identify the deficient controls, right? So that is to be done. So all things are to be followed, and also we have to ensure that management is effectively implementing the required actions or not. So these are the four things which are to be looked into. First one, effectiveness of the planning and oversight. Second one, adequacy of the operating processes or internal controls. Third one, if there are any deficient controls, so what are the corrective actions for the same? And also to ensure the management effectively implementing those required actions, right? That is to be done. Further, it's about the concurrent audit. It's about the concurrent audit. Now, concurrent says what? That's going parallelly. That's going parallelly. You are working in the bank and parallelly it's being audited. That's basically concurrent audit. It's being done on continuous basis. All around the year it is being done, right? And further, it is conducted by the external auditors on a monthly basis. External auditors on the monthly basis, right? Whatsoever basic transactions are being done, loan sanctioning is being done, that is to be checked and be corrected, right? Immediately the rectification is to be done. That's the concurrent audit, right? Further, it is CAATS. That is CAATS. It is computer assisted audit technique. Computer assisted audit technique, that we are to gather all the electronic records, and further we are to review the electronic records. That is CAATS. What we want to do, we want to analyze the data, right? And we use a computer software for the same, so that we can be processing such a huge amount of data, huge volume of the data, right? So it basically helps us to perform the audit function. right? We want to test the transactions, we want to check the balances, we may be calculating the interest so as to check either the interest calculation is being done correctly or not, right? If there is any error or not. Because let's say even if there is error of 20 paisa per 1,000 rupees, the bank is dealing with crores of the amounts, and 20 paisa gone means it may be the case that the bank may be losing rupees 2 crore in a year or even more, right? So that can be the case. So this is very much required. CAATS is very much required. We are using the computer for the calculation purposes. We are running multiple type of compliance test, or we are recalculating the entries or interest over there based on the accounting systems standards, right? So that is to be done. Further, it's about the standard on internal audit is 14, SA 14. SA 14 deals with it. Okay. And that will be all about this video. Thank you so much and see you again in the next video. If you want to get the complete course of JAIIB, the course is available in English only language also, and also the bilingual course is available. Simply just do WhatsApp JAIIB to the number 83609 44207, and I'll be sharing all the details with you. So thank you so much and see you again.